What's up, guys? It is Alex,
And Elisha.
and welcome back to another episode of Full Sabac. So happy to do this in front of a live studio audience in Burbank, California.
It's awesome
And it's
seeing.
definitely not behind four pillows in our spare bedroom.
Absolutely not. I'm not in what I like to refer to as the miniature blockbuster in my home because it's the room where my boyfriend keeps his extensive DVD collection. And I'm like,
Such a
everything
man
is
thing.
everything is streaming. Why do you need these? He's like, he tried, bless him. He was like, well, one day when the power goes out and you can't stream anything, you'll be glad for all these DVDs. I was like, so I can also not watch a DVD because the power will be out.
Thanks, Dad.
Like, yes, that serves me right.
Yeah.
I
Think
mean,
about me.
I'm sure there is a use for all these DVDs if the power were to go out, but it would more be like, I don't know, jamming them in like crevices to keep us warm. Like,
Burning them.
okay, we're gonna insulate the house with the DVD collection.
Like like when SpongeBob and Patrick burned all their money because they were like, we just had so much money, we didn't know what to do with it, so we burned it, and then the rest of it we just gave it all away.
They were Republicans until the giving it away part.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that what rich people do though? They have like a roaring fireplace. It's just taxes that they collect from the lower classes.
Yeah, when they do their little philanthropy and then the IRS gives them $1 billion back and they're like, oh, finally I can warm my house, burn all this cash.
It's like Gina Carano being like, I'm anti-human trafficking and I'm not afraid to say it. That's like what all like rich person philanthropy looks like.
Yeah, they're like, you know what, kids should have food. I'm not going to do anything about it, but someone might.
They're like sharing like an article on like Tank's Good News where it's like this 3-year-old with leukemia started a lemonade stand to fund their cancer treatments.
Literally.
Like, oh my God, what a heartwarming story. It's like, that is a dystopian horror film.
This
Like,
is
are
like
you joking me?
if the Hunger Games was in real life, there would be like a New York Post article that would be like, heartwarming. This young girl hunts for food for her family while they live in a toxic waste dump. And it's like, dude.
Heartwarming. This young girl volunteered as tribute to save her 12-year-old sister.
Instead, perhaps we stop putting kids in a cage match. And they're like, no.
You're like, that, I mean, we have to, there has to be TV. What are we going to watch?
They canceled Flavor of Love like 10 years ago. I have nothing else to live for. So I might as well.
So true.
Great show. Phenomenal show. Highly recommend. It's on my Letterboxd.
Oh my God.
I do
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I do have a Letterboxd, and the lists I have are just very obscure, weird. Let me pull up my Letterboxd actually, because I have like 3 lists. And those would be movies for fraidy cats who still love Halloween but are big scared babies. And that's got 22 movies on it.
Nice.
And then I have like all the movies that I shaped my personality after, even though no one asked. And then I have a list of 5 movies that are music biopics with mullets and homoerotic undertones. And those are The Dirt, The Runaways, Velvet Goldmine, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Rocket Man. And that's the best list I've ever created because it's correct.
Yeah. That's take that, Criterion Collection.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi with his balls out, Velvet Goldmine, great film.
Or really anything Ian McGregor has been in apart from Star Wars.
Star Wars, he's butt-ass naked all the time.
Oh, wait, I take it back. Wasn't he in like Winnie the Pooh also?
Yeah, well, he had a full cock and balls shot in that movie.
Did he really? I haven't seen
frontal. Well, full frontal. Well, Pooh wasn't there. It was.
I mean, that makes sense because Pooh is naked from the waist down. So I mean, I guess
right. No, it was Tigger that was there. He was.
I don't like the direction this is headed in. I'm gonna get into some questions. I'm gonna keep us on track. I can't promise it's going to get any better from here, but we're at least not going to talk about Tigger's nutsack or whatever direction that was headed in.
Tigger was giving him a reach around.
Okay, enough.
It was actually kind of heartwarming. Heartwarming. This
I
just
just remembered
just
I'm
sick.
busy today. I can't. I'm
I
sorry.
actually moved away from you forever. So
So lose this number.
you're breaking my heart, baby. You're breaking my heart.
Okay.
What do we
So
got?
I guess in the continuance of like things that should not happen. One of the more recent episodes, we talked about, did Phantom Menace really need to exist? And this question, I think we got the same week, but we didn't get to it then. But someone wanted to know if Maul had just run over Anakin in the Phantom Menace, would the Empire not happen? Like, sure, that's the end of the Skywalker line, but wouldn't Palpatine just find someone else, or did it have to be Anakin? Well, you already know that I have a long answer prepared.
Go for it.
Okay. I mean, all right. Like, he didn't really need Anakin to ensure like any of his ascension to like the position of Galactic Emperor. I feel like, I mean, like those plans had already been set in motion before he even knew Anakin existed. And if Maul had just killed him in Phantom Menace and hadn't been defeated during the Battle of Theed, then Maul would have probably just remained his apprentice, and then he would have gone on to fulfill a similar role to the one that Vader held during the Empire. Actually, I think Palpatine probably could have just rescued him from Lotho Minor and put him back together if he hadn't decided, like, screw you, I found a new apprentice. And okay, like I initially thought that maybe Palpatine turning Anakin to the dark side was more like this final blow to the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of them, I don't know if all of them believed in that prophecy or not, but like him being the chosen one, the one that was rumored to bring balance to the Force, yada yada, like turning him into this instrument of destruction against the Order had to be kind of like, I feel like, a bit of a cherry on top.
That it was more like a fuck you to the Jedi Order. That
yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So like, I know we discussed this when we were talking about the legitimacy of Phantom Menace as like an entry point into the galaxy far, far away, about how the midichlorian count thing doesn't really make sense. But at this point, like neither does the whole chosen one prophecy, because it essentially loses all meaning when you consider that the act that most people consider Anakin or Vader bringing the Force back into balance is when he kills Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. But then that doesn't even, it's just disproven in the sequel trilogy. So it's like, I don't know. At first I was like, okay, like turning like the chosen one, like the most powerful, highest midichlorian count Jedi to the dark side, like that's like got to be the ultimate power move for Palpatine. But then like none of those things actually really end up meaning anything.
right.
And also the whole relationship between master and apprentice doesn't really make any sense when it comes to the Sith, because like since there can only be two, the only way the apprentice can ascend is by killing their master, but Palpatine like never dies and he doesn't really seem to have any interest in like being replaced ever. Like he's not like really raising a replacement. He's just raising someone to like do his bidding. So it kind of makes you wonder, why does he even try to have an apprentice? And like, I mean, I don't know. It's just the whole like Palpatine supremacy thing. It just makes me mad. It makes me feel like, what's her name in Mean Girls? You know, like Maul is just as smart as Palpatine, and people like Maul just as much as they like Palpatine. It's just like he doesn't really need an apprentice to do any of the things that he did. He has a team of like the Inquisitors in Rebels and stuff that are like hunting down the Jedi with Vader. And I mean, I don't really know what Palpatine is doing this whole time besides just like sitting in a chair and just like presiding over everything. I mean, I guess that's what evil rulers tend to do. They're not ever really out there getting their feet wet. But like,
not all evil rulers. Some of us rule from afar, and that's okay.
Yeah, so Palpatine's just, I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't understand his like need to have an apprentice, because
yeah, it's kind of senseless because he's not grooming anyone to take over for him because he doesn't die.
Yeah.
He never dies. So it's like, what, you know, like when there's like a king and he has an heir and he's like, oh, I'm grooming you to take over the throne because I will be dead one day. That's not the case. Like, it doesn't make any sense because he's like, oh, I don't die. I just like the attention. I think he just likes the attention.
And if he even has like the whole Operation Cinder plan in place for if he does die like prematurely, which I'm not sure what he considers premature, considering he just keeps living forever pretty much. like that his entire empire will be destroyed. So he's not interested in the continuation of his work through someone else. He just wants to remain alive and in power for like all of times is what I got.
Yeah.
But then he's saying to Rey, like, oh, like you guys could join together. It's like, well, you don't seem to be leaving. So
Yeah,
like, how are we going to be in charge? Literally, what do you want? Like, he doesn't even, it's so annoying because it's like everyone acts like Palpatine is like this amazing villain, but honestly, like his motivation makes very little sense to me.
It's cartoony. It's like there's no real what do you want? Like it's just power. And it's like, okay, but why and how and what? And he's just like, I want to be in charge. I want to be I rule the world. And it's like, okay, but this is very much like the Powerpuff Girls had more strong villains with backstories.
Honestly, like I don't really, on one hand, I don't really want to know more about Palpatine's backstory because I just don't find him to be compelling.
Yeah, I don't care about it.
Like in general, but like for example, like Maul as a villain makes a lot more sense to me. His like need for power makes sense because like that's like the only way that he will feel safe and secure is the more power he acquires. Like he knows that no one is going to like destabilize him. And when you consider the kind of childhood he had, how he like has had pretty much no autonomy his entire life, like what better way to make himself feel secure than ensuring like no one can like pull the rug out from under him, so to speak.
He's the best villain.
But Palpatine, like, I mean, I don't know that we've never, and this might be in some books that I have not like read yet, because again, I tend to stay away from the ones that are like very Palpatine centric, just because.
The thing of it is, you shouldn't have to read obscene amounts of background material to justify the big bad in 9 movies. They should give it to you straight, you know?
They should do a better job. It's I keep going back to this, but it's like when Elijah Wood responded to that like Disney tweet that's like, did you know that the families of the First Order lived on Exegol and then later staffed like the warships or whatever? He was like, how would I know that?
How the fuck would I know that?
I mean, the thing is, it's like I am very interested in learning like as much lore as possible as I can about Star Wars because obviously I love to suffer, but like I don't think that should be a prerequisite for enjoying or understanding the source material.
It's the same as when J.K. Rowling was like, you know, Dumbledore's gay, and we're like, how the fuck would we know that?
Just because he's not like in a straight relationship in the books that we're not going to automatically infer that he's gay.
We thought he was just old. Like I didn't think he was like out on the prowl.
Busy ensuring that Hogwarts is actually the least safe place for any children to be.
What? Like, how would I have known that? You didn't give me any reference. You didn't give me any illusion. And she's like, I thought it would make sense because he never had a wife. And I was like, well, I thought he never had a wife because he was 200 years old.
And also just like busy. Like what kind of wife would want to like live with someone who's just constantly like lives at work?
Yeah, by that logic, we could say Palpatine's gay. He doesn't have a wife.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. Palpatine makes me very like annoyed, and I just think there are so many like better villains to focus on. Mm-hmm. We've really gotten away from the actual question, but no, I don't think Anakin. I don't think Anakin was at all like crucial to his success because we've seen time and time again there seems to be absolutely zero impediments to his rise to power because that just needs to happen for whatever reason. And despite like the many different things that could go wrong on any of his self-orchestrated kidnappings, it all just seems to go in his favor all the time. So white male privilege, am I right?
It's just, yeah, I love good villains. I love well-written villains. I love like villains who are horrible with a really compelling backstory. I don't even need to like them like in that kind of way or like agree with them. Like I can still hate a villain, but they can be a good villain. But like this is just, it's so weak. Like his whole characterization is like he's just like a douchey stepdad.
And the thing is like, I mean, it's just they repeatedly say that he's so well loved by his constituents. But I think for that to work in today's society, we would have to imagine a world where like a old white man that's been in power far too long is loved by anyone. And And that's not something that I can't, I'm sorry. I can remove myself from reality to pretty great lengths to enjoy a lot of Star Wars, but that's something that I am just unable to fathom.
Yeah, like anyone enjoying Ted Cruz, that's what they're
Yeah.
giving me here.
I mean, it's like lifetime appointment is what Palpatine has. And it's just, and they say like, oh, like he's been in power longer than he's legally supposed to, but it's like, okay, well, no one's really going to do anything about it.
Yeah, it's stupid. I think it's dumb. And I think Anakin or no Anakin, he would have continued his whack ass plot.
Yeah. Because he still would have had Maul. He still would have had Dooku, although Dooku couldn't have really been used in the same way just because he was a well-known, established, like he was, the face of the Separatist Alliance. But yeah, he didn't. He's such a girl boss. He just does it all himself. He doesn't need help from anyone.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
That's the Sith motto. Actually.
It is actually. That was Ventress's motto. And she did it. She did the damn thing.
She was also a better villain.
Like, why couldn't we got?
Again, George Lucas hates women, so she was fridged for no reason. But
this is true.
Sort of dovetailing into this next question. Well, kind of, not really. I don't know.
Lay it on me.
I don't like this question. Someone said, "Do you think Maul ate his own legs on Lotho Minor?"
Next question. I'm not doing this. Next question.
I can't say that I ever really considered it, but I just think that they ended up somewhere else. I mean, we don't know how the garbage is all sorted out down there.
He got chopped in half. Next question. Stupid questions do not apply.
Okay, I do. I'm not going to say it's...
I'm kidding. I'm not being mean.
I'm not going to say it's stupid, but
I don't like it.
I don't like it. And I don't know what Zabrak diets really consist of. I'm assuming they're very carnivorous. Worms. But I do not think they're self-cannibalizing.
I think they eat worms.
Okay, that's Anakin that you're thinking of.
What the fuck? What kind of Timon and Pumbaa ass shit? Why was he eating those worms?
Protein. I mean, ever heard of it?
He's trying to get yoked. Fuck. There's no other... He can't eat anything else.
I mean, it's that or ration bars, and we all need to mix it up sometimes.
You're right. I will go outside and eat a worm tomorrow. I hate this question.
Not on my recommendation.
Not on my keto diet.
Are worms keto?
Cream cheese covered worms. The new keto.
Just about to say, is it bussin' Janelle?
Is it bussin' Janelle?
Is it bussin' Anakin? Is that worm bussin'?
I bet it's good, Anakin.
God. Okay, so speaking of TikTok, this next question, and I have to say, I don't really seem to find myself on Star Wars TikTok that often because a lot of times like men will make Star Wars TikToks and I tend to not interact with them. So I stay off that. But I guess this is a thing. Recently, I've seen a huge influx of posts on TikTok about the Bad Batch getting Rogue One. Like, I kid you not, 3 TikToks in a row that all use the exact same wording. Do you think there's any validity to that? Like, we just got Echo back. Surely not, but I wouldn't put it past Dave to cause pain TM.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. I don't know how much validity there is to that. Because those 3 people might have seen one online article that like wasn't vetted and just ran with it. Because I find that a lot on TikTok. And I don't know the exact ones that they're talking about, so I could be wrong, but I just don't see them doing that, especially with like the amount of popularity and success they got with the Clone Wars, just to wipe them all out. Especially when at the end of the day, it's about making money, and they're trying to make money with this new series, and I don't think they're gonna fucking ice them that fast. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so like as of right now, we don't know how many seasons of Bad Batch there will be or even how many episodes there will be in the first season. So like I know Kenobi is apparently only 1 season, but then I also have read that like he's going to be making appearances in other Disney shows. So with Bad Batch, like I have no idea how much they're planning to make, but I mean, I think it could potentially run all the way to the start of Rebels and link up with that timeline.
Yeah.
But since we do only have 1 season confirmed so far, I do think it's safe to say that like no one is safe. The rest of them I don't really care about that much, but I do think
Yeah.
Dave Filoni is evil enough to make us watch Echo die twice, and I would say that we should all be ready to board the Pain Train Express when it comes to. Okay, yeah, I do think that Echo and Cody are both in danger. I don't really know about the rest of them, and I don't really care about the rest of them, so I don't know. I mean, maybe they will make me like them more, but they're not going to make me like Crosshair. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Crosshair's a dick. I hate him.
Stop trying to make Crosshair happen.
It's not going to happen.
I don't know. I think even if we don't see Echo die, watching him deal with Five's death will be just as painful. So
just as nauseating. Again, take everything on TikTok with a grain of salt. I again wouldn't put it past them, but I think just because we know so little right now, it's like, who's to say?
But also, like, let's be realistic. There's not going to be a happy ending for any of them. Like, we know like what's happening to all the clones during the time of the Empire.
Yeah,
so
I hate it.
We're all just donning our clown shoes right now because we are voluntarily signing up for more pain surrounding the clones, as if we did not get enough in the Clone Wars. Here we go.
Man, I'm just gonna sit here with my little Fives action figure and give him a little kiss on the forehead like I do every day.
Yeah, I don't know.
So special to me.
I think this. I don't know. It's like on one hand, like I want to like speculate about what's going to happen, and I'm sure I will as we get nearer and nearer to the release date, which is also very exciting because we can do like recaps and stuff, which we weren't really able to do with Mandalorian due to like our schedules really never matching up ever, and only having like 3 minutes of free time every day. But I am like very excited because Bad Batch is like, it's coming up. May 4th.
It's coming quick.
It's so soon. Yeah, it's going to be here before we know it. But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I guess you guys we will have probably added like video podcasts by then. So you guys should be prepared to just like watch me sob.
Mm-hmm.
Throwing it back to Attack of the Clones era.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Dooku held auditions before picking Jango Fett to clone? Was it like a so you think you can be cloned situation? Also, if you were Darth Tyrannus himself, which, by the way, dumbest Sith name by a mile, who would you choose to clone for your personal army? I'd pick Henry Cavill for reasons.
Valid.
So, of course you think that.
Fuck you.
I mean, like, honestly, that's probably
Daddy,
more...
I love him.
That's probably a more tactically sound choice than mine, which I'll get to. But
is it Michael Cera?
No,
could you imagine an army of Michael Ceras just coming at you? Like, you know that video of like 1,000 ducks?
Sounds like Tame Impala. I hate this. So he did actually have like a sort of like a secret galaxy-wide audition. And they go over this in the Jango Fett comic entitled Open Seasons, which I would recommend.
Paula Abdul? Did he pick like American Idol? Oh my god.
I'd recommend it to anyone that wants like Jango backstory and lore on Death Watch and the True Mandalorians, but be forewarned that the art like super sucks and severely whitewashes Jango, so like be forewarned. But so that like shows how he narrowed down a field of potential templates to Jango Fett, and then the subsequent trials that he put Jango through they explore them in the Star Wars Bounty Hunter game, which was released in 2002 alongside Attack of the Clones. I haven't played it, but I watched like YouTube videos of it. Oh my gosh. Please let me know how it is, because I don't know how to play any video games, but I'm willing to learn just for like Jango Fett content, because I've watched like YouTube videos of gameplay just because that
you can tell that this was made in like 2002. The quality is terrible, but I love it. He was playing it the other night and we were just sitting there, and they give you like no instructions on how to play, and we were just kind of figuring things out, but it was very cute and it was very fun, and you're just like running around with your little jetpack. And
you know, Temuera did voice it, so like you get to hear him talking, which kind of fucks. So
bark bark woof growl, if I may.
So like you can play that if you want to learn more about that situation. But I just watch YouTube videos of other people playing it. Clown behavior. As far as who I would clone though, if we're talking in universe, I would still pick Jango.
Yeah.
Like Tyrannosaurus Rex I think did do the galaxy a favor by cloning like Delph Supreme.
Why did they name him that?
Oh my god, so many Sith names
Stupid
are so
ass name.
fucking stupid. We should do like a tier list dumbest Sith names.
Oh my god.
Because there's some really bad ones in like Legends and stuff.
Oh, I'm
too.
on it. Who would you clone in like real life in like Earth?
Okay, I'm sorry because this is not a tactical choice by any means. I'm pretty sure that Paul Rudd is not trained in combat.
Oh my god.
He's funny and he's very pleasant to look at. So, and in that show, Living with Yourself, it's on Netflix. Please watch it if you guys haven't already because it is very good. He was cloned, and that is a world that I would love to live in personally. An army of Paul Rudds, methinks it would be a delight.
I would like to have one. I would like my own personal Paul Rudd. Miss, for $1, would you have sex with Paul Rudd? I'd do it for free.
If anyone said no on that video, they are so stupid. This is like one of those like...
Yeah, the one woman who goes, I'm married. And Billy Eichner goes, that wasn't the question I asked.
Like, I mean, like, good for you on, like, being, like, loyal to your partner and stuff. But, like, I'm pretty sure, like, if your partner would not encourage you to, like, have sex with Paul Rudd for $1, then maybe they're not the one for you.
Yeah, and you would be getting the $1. So it's a win-win.
Yeah.
You don't even have to pay him.
Basically the stimulus check, plus you get to have sex with Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm. That's worth at least $1,400.
So true.
So true, bestie. I think. Yeah. Who would I pick? Henry Cavill's a good choice, tactically as well, because he's large. Not to say Harry Styles, because that's the only person I'm ever thinking about. But I gotta stay on brand here. I gotta stay true to my roots. And I would say I would clone Harry Styles, but like somehow I'd find a way to clone one of each of his different little eras he went through with his hair, so that I could have the best of all of the worlds.
I mean, Harry Styles is like a very tactical choice because he fought in like the war.
He fought in the Battle of Dunkirk. He did. So he's a brave soldier who fights for his country.
I genuinely could not remember like what he was in. So it's just like the war.
He was in
the singular war.
Well, there's only been a few.
I was like, I know it's not World War II. So which other one is it?
Dunkirk was World War II, wasn't it?
Is it?
I'm Googling.
I thought it was World War I.
It could be.
Hold on a second. Maybe I don't know anything.
It was in World War II.
Oh my God. Okay. I was like, okay, we've eliminated the one that it was actually.
It was actually the Revolutionary War. For what reason? So
what the fun fact that you guys have learned about me today is that I did not major in history. And I've also not watched Dunkirk. So
I didn't watch it in full. I just watched Harry's scenes on YouTube. I'm sorry, Mr. Christopher Nolan.
You know what? It's fine. I don't think he's taking it too personally.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear you over all the money I've got shoved up my ass. Like, I don't feel bad.
Have you seen that tweet that's like someone watching Dunkirk on like the iPod 5th generation that had like the video capability? Yes! You're like the way it was meant to be seen. So I have to get my old iPod up and running and then I'll watch Dunkirk.
Yeah, because that's the true cinematic experience we were looking
for.
What
Christopher Nolan wanted, so.
It's probably the best way to play the Jango Fett Bounty Hunter game, if I'm honest with you. That shit looks like Temple Run.
The graphics probably look so good on the iPod 5.
That iPhone 4C. For those ones?
I do. I never had one, but I remember them.
I had the pink one. I wanted to eat it so bad, and I don't know why. Like, you just look at stuff and you're like, I bet that would crunch really well.
Yeah, those frog eggs from Mandalorian.
Oh, they're really fucking good. It's like boba.
They look so good. They look so good. I don't blame Grogu for doing genocide.
I ate Frog Lady's eggs with some liver and a nice Chianti.
Oh my God. Yeah, do you remember when that was discourse that people were trying to cancel Baby Yoda for genocide? That was amazing.
That was so fun. I thought you were kidding. Like you said, like,
should we cancel Bill Burr for being transphobic? No, let's cancel a baby puppet for cultural genocide of Frog Lady.
He was eating omelets. Relax. No one got up in arms when Rocky ate raw eggs, even though that was disgusting. So let
I
Grogu
mean,
do it.
it's fine. Like it turned out to be such a non-issue. Everyone was like, God, Din's really gonna have to come to terms with the fact that his child is a murderer. I'm like, well,
Din's a murderer.
He did kill like multiple beings in previous episodes that were like, they were like walking around. Like, are you guys trying to make this like a pro-life
Oh my god, it is a
thing?
thing.
Um,
No. But you know what was so cute when he was like, mind your manners. You know what I'm talking about. And he was like, oh, because he knows that he can't eat the eggs.
but then at the end, he was petting the little frog child.
Oh my god, that was so cute.
God.
It makes me want to have kids, and I've never want to have kids.
Yeah.
Makes my womb vibrate.
It's like the only thing that it will make me want to have children is seeing a puppet petting a CGI frog. That's when the maternal instincts kick in.
That's it. I see a real baby. I'm like, what?
I'm like, can you get that thing away from me? It's like
Fucking
looking
disgusting.
at me all weird. Gross.
Yo, Xander, come get your boy, dog. He's just a baby. He's fucking looking at you. Look at his stupid little face. Dumb little face.
I hate it. I don't like it.
Yeah. I can't wait to give birth to a Jim Henson puppet.
I wish that was something that we could opt into, because I was like looking into how to sell my uterus on the black market the other day.
It doesn't need to be on the black market. You can sell it to normal doctors.
Well, I couldn't find that information on the first page of Google. So
so the dark web is page 2.
Yep. Yeah. And yeah. So it started to get sketchy from there. I think I'm going to sell it on eBay. Someone already bid like 12 G's. You think I'm going to say no to that? I don't know how I'm going to get it out of there, but
you're going to wake up in a bathtub full of ice in a motel in Missouri.
Oh God. Well, the worst part about that will be that I'm in Missouri.
Yeah. I'd rather have no uterus in anywhere else than have a uterus in Missouri. And you can quote me on that one for whatever reason. I hope they like play that in a court of law.
It's like a bumper sticker with like a rainbow.
This is fuck Missouri. Here's my uterus. On the back of my Toyota Corolla.
Oh my gosh. The last question that we have, I feel like I saved it for last because I wasn't sure how like long this episode is going to get, and I do feel that we could get tangential with this one.
We do be doing that.
So I love this question. It says, what's the most ridiculous way Din and Bo-Katan could have a contest to win the Darksaber? I vote Great British Bake Off-esque baking contest. The person that bakes the best Victoria sponge wins Mandalore.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I love the idea of Paul Hollywood going up to Bo-Katan and being like, you're having a bit of a struggle with that Swiss roll, aren't you? And she's like, well, as you can see here, this is my grandmother's recipe. And then she starts crying. And then he's like, I didn't ask for your tears. That's all right. You can just go ahead and finish up baking. Din, what have we got over here? Nice ganache. Nice ganache.
You know, he would be like, what's the best way to make a Victoria sponge, right? And she'd be like, well, can you tell me? And he would be like, no, I can't. And she'd be like, I'm the ruler of Mandalore. And he's like, well, you're not yet, are you?
And Mary Berry kicks in the door. She said, the fuck did you just say?
Mary Berry has just got like the largest glass of spotchka you've ever seen in your life. And she's just doing a sultry wink at Din every 15 seconds.
Oh, Mary Berry would try to fuck Din, dude. Absolutely.
And in that moment, she was all of us.
And then Paul Hollywood was kind of like, which I think Paul Hollywood and Mary Berry have had sex before. I don't want to think about it, but I feel it in my soul to be true.
They do have there's a weird vibe there.
And her and Noel as well. Always like, they definitely fucked. I think just for fun.
My favorite Noel fun fact is when I convinced Tig that was the guy from Oasis.
That's the funniest thing you've ever said to me. That's so... Today is gonna be the day that I'm gonna make a Swiss roll cake.
And I honestly think that would be a funnier co-host of the Great British Bake Off. No offense to Noel Fielding.
I love Noel Fielding.
But
that would
if
be
it
fucking
was
a guest star episode where it's Noel Gallagher.
like, and the thing is like I'm no offense to like British people, but I do tend to get the ones that have like bad haircuts confused. And so I did I was like, oh, Noel Gallagher or whatever. And like, then I was like, never mind, it's Noel Fielding. And then I was like, you know what, actually, because Todd kept asking like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know this guy because he got used to the other co-hosts. And I was like, oh, that's a guy from Oasis. He was like, what? I was like, he's got,
is that what he's doing?
He's gotten a lot of plastic surgery. Like, he looks kind of different. And it took an entire season for him to look it up himself and be like, that's a completely different guy.
Shut up. You know who else I love? I love those lesbian co-hosts. I love them. What are their names?
I did not, Mel and Sue.
Yes.
I did not like when they switched hosts. That felt very much like a security blanket was being removed.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. And every time they switch hosts, like, I mean, I like, no offense to like the new person on this show, but it's just like, I finally get used to someone and then you guys switch it up. And it's not even that I necessarily like some of them. Like a lot of the times the humor is like non-existent.
And that's the point. It's just, like,
it's just bad. It's just bad. I mean, it's the equivalent of like, it's like the British equivalent of like Dane Cook, except it's not really offensive. It's just not good.
Don't ever compare Mary Berry to Dane Cook.
I wasn't
will kill you.
She's not one of the hosts. She's a judge.
I know, but she's still very special to me.
Well, she's the funniest one on there.
She really is.
And he's so like, ugh, it's like fake tan and like everything.
He's like he's like a dirty old man. And yet, what do you think he would say to Din if he were making biscuits? Do you think his biscuits would have a good crumble?
I mean, so like he couldn't tell that Din is having a mental breakdown inside his helmet until he saw the tears like streaming out from under the helmet and like wetting his apron.
Are a bit salty. Is it your tears?
I feel like Paul Hollywood is always like hard on everyone, but there's something about Din that would just make him be like, like that's all right. Like you're doing your best.
Like Gordon Ramsay with those kids.
Yeah.
He's like, don't worry. Listen. Fuck off, Bo-Katan. Fuck off, Bo-Katan.
Well, like also because like Din's like little, like they're like where they go into their backstory and how they end up on the Bake Off. But, like after I lost my son, I started baking to cope with the trauma. And so if I ever saw him again, I could make him like a birthday cake. And they're just all sobbing.
And they just weep. They fucking weep. And then Bo-Katan's like, well,
I have never baked or had a job in my life. I'm just doing this to prove that I'm better than Din at everything.
And they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
This isn't fun anymore.
She would definitely be the antagonist on the Bake Off, though. I mean, I know there's never really like a real antagonist, but she would definitely be the one that everyone's just like ready for her to go home.
Yeah. And then Din would be like, well, I put my heart and soul into this buttercream. And they're like, we can taste it, Din. It's lovely. Thank you.
This is the episode where we lose like all like British listeners.
It's funny because on my other podcast I did, we had a little voicemail that somebody had sent us, and she was British and she had like the prettiest voice. And I was like, hey, we should do the rest of this bit in British accents. And I committed to the bit, and I was like, you know what? If I get canceled and get sent death threats because of this, I'll accept it. But one person told me I did a good job, so I'm gonna take that as all like, British
that's people. That's all the validation I need.
So my Paul Hollywood impression, actually fantastic. Thanks very much.
I do like the Great British Bake Off thing, but I do think that Din would have the edge in anything domestic, like we were saying the other night, because Bo-Katan's like never had a job or had to do anything.
And
people are going to cancel us for being like misogynistic, but the thing is like literally in the show, Bo-Katan is never doing anything. She's just always sitting in a cafe and like trying to get other people to do her work for her, and then being like, I'm the ruler of Mandalore, and I'm like, no, but you're not.
Yeah, she like barely saved her sister, and then her sister died, and it was like kind of her fault. So
it was 100. Like, let's be real, it was 100% her fault.
It was her fault. She's. This is the least misogynistic Star Wars podcast out there. I can tell you that for free. I just don't like Bo-Katan because she's a bad person.
I think we're allowed to I mean, it's not like they're trying to make us like her on the show.
Yeah. They were
You
laying
know?
it out there for us.
And I have to say, Katie Sackhoff, please marry me. I am free whenever you're free. You're amazing, and I love you so much. Like, it's just like you're doing an awesome job of like making me dislike you, which I didn't think was possible because also I want to marry you.
She's
but
beautiful
and so capable and so amazing.
So powerful.
But I think, okay, so how I would like to see them battle it out is they both start with 0 followers on TikTok, and someone has to. They each have to make a video. Whoever gets more likes on their video in, let's say, 48 hours becomes a ruler of Mandalore. And I think this is what I think Bo-Katan would do. I think she would do. I know this trend's maybe a little bit old by the time this episode is coming out, but I think she would. I don't think that she would be totally with the times because let's face it, she's kind of detached from like reality.
Right.
She would make one of those Rasputin videos.
Stop. And she would be
where she flexes. Late. And but she would still do numbers on like the dollar bean TikTok and like buy TikTok. Mm-hmm. Even though like, she's arrived way too late to the
lesbian party. TikTok.
But people would be simping. They would be simping. Din, I don't know. What trend do you think he would hop on?
I think that he would just innocently make a viral TikTok that he had no intention of going viral. Like he would be like, hey guys, this is my collection of weapons. I really like it. And here it is, because he's uncomfortable on camera. And then everyone would be like, oh my God, he's so sensitive. And he's got like a whole bunch of weapons. I love that. And they're like, he's like, yeah, I also, I lost my son. So that's really sad. And everyone would like be like, oh my God, I could fix him. He's like a broken man, like a bird with a broken wing. And he would get simps that way.
I think he would make one of those videos that's like, I normally don't do this, but and he'd be like, I recently lost my son. I don't want the responsibility of ruling Mandalore, but I need like a safe place so my son can come back and live with me again. I really miss him. So please boost this video. And it would be like the most like low budget, like he did not really put like effort into it, but like there would be like 1.3 million likes, everyone commenting like, every time someone interacts with this, I'll come back and rewatch it. And he would have like a whole simp army and get like 1 billion followers on TikTok. And Bo-Katan's would have like, I don't know, let's say like 43,000 likes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think it would be like a corpse husband situation because he never shows his face. He's kind of like a little bit shy and awkward, like one-on-one. And you know, bitches really go for that. And I think I will say I don't want to see Din make any music of any sorts. I think if he wanted to, I would support him. I don't think he would want to.
I don't think he would jump in on dance trend either. I think that his friends would encourage him to go that route. They're like, oh, like you definitely would get attention if you just jump on a trend, and that's what Bo-Katan does. But she is like, I don't understand so many of these trends. Like this one where you just dance a little bit to a song and flex. That's something that I can personally accomplish. And Casca is like, yeah, that seems like that's a safe bet for you.
Yeah, another good one might be Din might start streaming himself playing Among Us.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And
then like Boba Fett like sees Din making these TikToks and he's like, I want to get in on it. And he does like one of the TED Talk ones.
That's so fun with the big head.
Yeah, he's like, I believe in Bo-Katan rights. Bo-Katan writes to shut the fuck up. Yeah. I can definitely see. And that one's like an older trend too now, I guess. But like people would absolutely love it.
They would eat that shit up.
I feel like it never stops being funny to me.
It's really funny.
I've never seen any that weren't funny, which is a sign that the algorithm is working. Because I know straight white men have made ones that suck.
Yeah. I try to stay
but I simply don't see it. So I only see it if someone like does like stitches or like duets, like something from Straight Talk, and I'm always just like, I mean, like I don't think we should give them attention, but also it's like so fucking funny.
And then I would go viral for making you remember those punk One Direction edits? I would make punk Mando edits and they would go viral on TikTok. And that's how I would insert myself into the narrative.
I would just make one of those like idiot simp videos where I duet the video and it's just me holding out the engagement ring like repeatedly and not looking at the camera. That would be my entrance into the Mando talk.
Yeah, and then Paul Hollywood would duet me on TikTok. And it would go full circle.
Wow, I love that we did that.
And that in the biz, what we call a callback.
So true.
So true,
yeah, I would love to hear what you guys would like to see as far as like most ridiculous contest to win the Darksaber. Because like, I mean, on one hand, we know Din doesn't even want it, but like, imagine that he did want to keep it.
Yeah,
and Bo-Katan wants it again.
He would just take it so she couldn't have it.
Which on Boba's request too.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I know you don't want this shit, but like it's so funny that she doesn't get it. Can you please just like keep it?
It'd be just hilarious if she did not have it.
Din would just like let out an exasperated sigh and be like, oh, okay.
Fine.
And what else am I gonna do?
I love that in a man. So non-committal and quiet. Love that. It's so sexy that he never talks.
Thoughts on Boba Din?
Kiss. Was that inappropriate? I want Boba Din to kiss. If they don't, that is also fine.
You know what I mean? Like they're good. They're good as like besties, and they're also good as I love them to be together forever. Okay, so 3. Oh, I'm gonna ask you to rank these.
Okay.
Or put them in order. Yeah, most liked to least.
Love it. Let's go.
Mando Mara.
I love them.
Din Luke. Boba Din.
Ooh, that's hard.
I feel like there's another one that I'm missing. What am I missing? I know some people have shipped like Cara and Din, but I don't. That's weird and gross.
No, Cara's obviously a lesbian.
And also, not even on the show anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So, but, I would say we could put Boba Din at the bottom, just not because I don't like them, but just because like I could see it, I could not see it. You know what I mean? Like it would make me happy, but it's not like the end all. You know what I mean?
Wait, let me introduce one more pairing because I feel like that might make it a little bit easier to do. Okay. Then you don't have to put Boba Din at the bottom, maybe. Okay. I don't know.
Because I didn't want to do that, but
Din Cobb.
Would I like to see them kiss? Absolutely. There's nothing else there. Would it be sexy? Absolutely. So I'll put them at the bottom, and then I'll put Boba Din because I love them. And they can be besties. I love Mando Mara, but I love the narrative of Din Luke because I think it's absolutely absurd and would fit in so well with the rest of whatever the fuck is going on. Mr. Chanel Boots Skywalker. I'm going to put that as number 1 and then Mando Mara as number 2 because Din wouldn't really have to change his whole life. Which can I just say the fact that he didn't go with Luke and Grogu, it makes no goddamn sense to me. Where else was he gonna go?
And also now Luke has already seen his face. Unlike with Omera, he could continue to live within his code until they married, if they decide to marry, and then he would be allowed to show her his face as that is like illegal within Mandalorian culture.
Yeah, I like both of them. But I guess that's what I would say. I guess that's my order.
Yeah, I would agree. With Din Cobb, that was one of those ones where like people started shipping it immediately, and I had this is not to call out anyone who like enjoys that ship because I do think like obviously they're both very like attractive. They did have some good banter in that one episode, but it's funny that like people were so quick to be like, oh my god, like they're so perfect together. And they were the same people disparaging, a lot of the same people that were disparaging Mando Mara. They're like, well, that is so unrealistic. And I'm like, because she's a woman of color and not, a white male. And it's like the yearning. I mean, there was no yearning with Din Cobb, and they knew each other for a shorter amount of time. Like, I think the other thing that like gets weird when people are like, I don't really see it with Mando Mara is like that episode takes place over like a month. So there, I don't, a lot of people like get mad about how she reached for his helmet, which again, I do not see any issues with how she handled that. She was not disrespectful. She was asking for consent non-verbally.
Right.
But like people are like, oh, like she's only known him like 2 seconds and she's trying to take off his helmet. First of all, she didn't forcefully remove it. Second of all, they like knew each other for like a month.
Like a month.
The longest relationship we had seen him have with anyone besides the child on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Mando Mara is like number one in my heart, but I don't know that she's ever going to return to the show. So I guess I'm like, I mean, obviously it's much easier to be a Din Luke shipper because like there's just so much content and it's all very cute. I definitely like Din Luke. I think it's like super cute.
It's fun.
I don't really like hate any Din pairings unless someone starts talking about Din and Mayfeld or then jail.
Ew. Who
just
said
because
that?
People that like saw Mayfeld call him brown eyes and they're like, there's definitely something there. I'm like, well, it's the color of his eyes.
It's the color of his eyes. He panicked and he was like, we call him brown eyes. That would just be like if he was like, we call him left arm and he looked at his left arm. It's not.
Oh yeah, this is Tin Marin. You know, like what is he gonna do? Like make up a completely different name for him? I mean, I guess Mayfeld didn't know Din's actual real name, but
yeah.
Oh
Mayfeld
yeah,
was his dumbass, so it doesn't matter.
That's Pando.
I also fuck
Pando Dorian.
Fuck off. I also saw that stand-up comedian on TikTok talking about Mayfeld in The Mandalorian. He goes, it's just fucking Bill Burr. He's like, he's got like normal clothes on. He's talking like Bill Burr. He's like, what the fuck was the point of having him there? It was weird.
I know, it's like, oh yeah, this is the, they have a tendency to set each episode of The Mandalorian in a new location. This is just the Boston episode.
It was like, I thought like Jeff Dunham was going to show up. Like it was weird.
I didn't like it. And I also hate that like the main reason he was cast is because he's like on record like as talking about how much he hates Star Wars. It's like, let's stop like giving like the edgelord comedians attention or rewards for like not being funny and just thinking that hating everything is humor.
Yeah, I want Dave Filoni to be Mayfeld. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, I mean, just because he was already cast as Trapper Wolf, I think he can do double duty. If D. Bradley Baker can play every single person in the Star Wars universe, then certainly Dave Filoni can be more than one minor character. The fact that Bill Burr was like acting like he had to really censor himself after Gina Carano was fired. And I know I already talked about this, but like, it's like, stop acting like you're the Mandalorian. Like, shut up.
You had a bit part.
Yeah.
That nobody gave a shit about.
And still got a better redemption arc than, pretty much every character that deserved it. So
yeah. You're right. We did go on a tangent for this one. I knew we were going to go on a tangent. Because we talked about it a little bit yesterday.
It was like a 20-minute, and I thought that I was going to. I was like, well, I'm looking at this question, I'm thinking on my answer, and I crowdsourced it to some of my friends. I was curious to see what they would say, and the most popular answer was, they would like to see them go on Wipeout together, which would be so funny. I think because it's like
good.
Like you could not, but like obviously no weapons allowed. Like you can be in your armor, but like that's it. And it's but honestly
just bouncing on the big trampolines and falling into the pool.
Yeah. Someone, one of my friends said like, oh, I can just see Din absolutely wrecking his shit on those giant red balls. And I immediately was like, oh, so you ship Din and Berg?
Enough. Enough.
And that's why everyone hates me.
No, you deserve it this time. I love you, but that is
cancelable offense.
Deserved.
Honestly, I would rather see Din and Berg than Din and Mayfeld. I'll say it.
And well, you know what? You're right.
Another popular suggestion was they have to get through a game of Monopoly without using their flamethrower.
That's difficult for me, a regular human being.
Yeah. I mean, I think Din would win that one because he is so used to being broke, he wouldn't get mad about it.
He'd just be
Whereas
like, same shit.
Bo-Katan would get really bent out of shape.
Yeah. Or a game of like they had to play a game of Taboo with each other as the partners,
Oh God.
and whoever guesses more right answers wins. So they have to like actually work together, and it's funny because Bo-Katan doesn't know how to describe anything, and Din doesn't know what anything is.
Or like Pictionary.
Yeah.
Because literally you list anything. It's like Jedi. Din's like, what?
I have no idea what that is.
I'm sorry. What did you say? Lightsaber? I don't know her.
Don't know what that is. Never seen her.
Every card he gets, he's like, I've never heard of any single thing in any of these categories.
Somehow I realized I cannot read and I don't know what this says.
Here's a fun fact about me is that I've never known anything in my life.
Love that. I love that in a man.
But only in Din Djarin, not in the real life men that we have to encounter every single day that don't know anything. So yeah, we answered the question. The question. I guess, well, you didn't really give what you would like your ideal competition between them to be, I guess.
I think I just kind of went off on tangents about the tangents. I think maybe one of those dizzy bat races, like you have to get really, really drunk and then spin around with your head on a bat, and then you have to run in a straight line. I think that would just be funny for me to see. That kind of goes along the same lane as Wipeout. But I would also, because we talked about dictionary about Pictionary and shit like that. I think that would be very funny. Maybe they
like
would
with
both
anything
be social
physical,
media.
I mean, I feel like they're on pretty level playing field.
Yeah, maybe they would both become social media interns for like different businesses, and they would have to like be the least lame on social media. Like Din would end up being like the Wendy's Twitter social media intern, and Bo-Katan would be like
the corporate Twitter trying to be relevant.
Yes. I don't know what I would want the dream competition to be.
If they did have to be on like corporate Twitter, though, I think Bo-Katan would she would post like a video of herself eating like a Big Mac or something if she was like a McDonald's Twitter person, and then she wouldn't be able to find anyone to like stitch the video, so she would have to make another video of herself in costume being like, is it bussin'?
Is it bussin', Janelle?
And everyone's like, why are you stitching yourself?
Who is this woman?
She's like, I don't know. I don't know who stitched that video. That's not Bo-Katan. That's Joe
Strap-on.
Do you have the contact info on Joe Strap-on?
Give me a minute. I'm on it. Let's see.
Okay, cool. Google, show me this guy's balls, please.
Show me this guy's balls, please. I'm in.
So yeah, I think there's lots of fun competitions, and I'm sure you guys have some fun ideas that we could not even begin to fathom.
I'm excited to see whatever this is.
Yes, please send them in. We would love to. We'll read them all in the next episode.
I would fucking love that. Please send them in.
Please do it. And also, please send us your nomination for stupidest Sith name. It can be something that's actually from... here's a fun game. Send us two. And one can be made up and one can be real. And we have to guess which one's the real one, because they all sound so stupid.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
I will not Google any of them. If I have heard of some of them, I'm sorry, but I will ask Alexis, and yeah. I need to think of my own Sith name, because there's like Sith name generators and they're all so funny. If you have never used
Clitoris. That's mine. I call it.
Well, that would be awesome, because then no one would be able to find you.
Fuck.
They're like, we can't find the Dark Lord of the Sith anywhere.
We've been right next to it for 5 minutes. And we just cannot seem to
telling us where they are, but we just can't.
They kept physically moving us in the direction of her, but we can't get to her.
So that would actually be a very safe bet, I think.
Darth Clitoris. That's a good one. My Twitter name is Anna Nicole Sith, which I think is very funny and cool. I'm gonna actually write this down so I have a new clicky clack ass keyboard. So if you hear it,
Okay, please explain why I just went to the Sith name generator and the first female name ones I do. It's like Darth Steph. Like, come on.
Darth John. Fuck you.
Like, you guys didn't even try. Darth Kid. Like, get real.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking with you. Like, some of them are just like Darth Gek. Darth 100 Geks.
Darth 100 Geks.
I want a sugar crush and a fucking cat.
That's not 100
I can't
Geks.
stand it. But it's equally as annoying.
I like 100 Geks because it scratches the itch in my brain. Like those loud noises.
That's fair. But anyway, yeah, Sith name generators are very hit or miss. But
yeah, pick out Sith names for us and drop them in the comments below.
Yes, please. Cool. Was there anything else that you had to add?
All the questions this time. I think we really did it.
Wow, in like under 2 hours.
In 1 hour, actually. We've never been more efficient.
Wow, look at us.
We do be talking.
People can do hard things.
People can do hard things.
Yeah, wow, look at us. Who would have thought? Not me. And I think that we should bring that back. I don't think that we enjoyed that meme for long enough.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best memes we could have hoped to have had.
And Paul Rudd looks so good with that longer hair and the beard. And let's just bring it back, even if it's not relevant, just so I can look at that image. Let's do it for me. 2021.
Yeah, do it for Elisha, always. That's how I live my life usually.
Oh, that explains so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lie to make you feel good, but...
Yeah, I know. Because you send me TikToks that make me want to physically hurt someone.
Love you, bitch.
Cool. Well, it was good answering all your questions. If we didn't answer your question on this episode, we have not deleted it. We will get to it, I promise. Just sometimes we do not want to accidentally record a 3-hour episode because believe me, we have done it.
We've done it.
So yeah, please keep sending them in. We love reading them, contemplating them, and then going completely off the rails.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys know where to send them. All the links are in our description. So please go for it.
And again, we're just going to plug that patrons only Discord that we've got. We're still doing the book club. This month's book is Kenobi by, is it John Jackson Miller?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the one we're reading this month. If you guys want to get in on that, you can go check that out. And once again, thank you so much for listening. Anything else to add, Elisha? We fill them in on everything?
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Hell yeah.
You know what? One last thing. Can you do your best Anakin saying yippee to close out the podcast?
Absolutely. Yes, of course.
Yippee! Perfect. Okay. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.